Hello everyone and welcome back to another great super cool radio interview. I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. And before I start talking about my guests, just a quick reminder to thumbs up this video if you enjoy it, and make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. That way you don't miss any super cool radio interviews or episodes. I have a really great guest who will be joining me momentarily. She is the lead vocalist for DramaScream Lauren Eliza. Very recently they released a new EP entitled Revive. In this interview we're of course going to discuss the new EP Revive, how the name came to be for the new EP, the new music video for What I've Become, her favorite music video she has filmed with DramaScream, and so much more. So let's dive into this interview. Let's go. Before we jump into the show, I want to tell you about our merch store on Threadless. Shop a wide variety of logos with multiple colors and sizes available for each design. Your support is greatly appreciated and helps us continue to make killer content like this episode. Please visit supercoolradio.threadless.com or the link in the description to shop now. I got a really great guest with me at this time. She's the lead vocalist for DramaScream. Please welcome Lauren Eliza.
Hey.
Nice to have you back on again. I believe it's probably 6, 7, 8 months. I don't remember. I had you on last season, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Something like that. But it's nice to have you back on. Is the point I was trying to make.
I agree. I'm glad to be back.
So I know we got a lot to discuss with obviously the new EP Revive, but before we get to all of that, has any DramaScream members been attacked by an owl lately?
No, we've been owl free for a while now, so it's good.
That is good.
Well, I didn't forget, but you know.
I was watching our last interview to make sure I'm not repeating any questions, but I did remember that, and I was listening to that, and it made me laugh a lot. So I was like, I just want to make sure that all members have been safe from owls.
So thus far, we are marked safe from owl attacks.
Well, that's good. That's good. Any animal attacks on you guys?
No, actually.
Okay.
We're all good. We're all good.
Very good. Very good. Nice to hear you guys are staying safe and no animal attacks lately.
Yes.
But before we jump into the EP, I do got one more question. What has been the best concert you've attended and the best concert you've performed at?
Okay, attended. It might not be the best, but it's the best in my recent memory. Okay. I saw Ginger.
Nice.
And they were awesome.
That is good. I was actually thinking about wearing a Ginger shirt for this interview. I went with the purple, but I was
I am wearing a Ginger shirt.
Oh, man,
I didn't realize that. I was like, wait, I am wearing a Ginger shirt.
Man, now I see I should have worn mine. That's all right.
We're matched. Darn it. Yeah, they were awesome. Just flawless. Like there wasn't even like a part where you could be like, oh, it wasn't it was just amazing. Like everything was amazing. She's amazing. The whole band's amazing. So
I believe it. I've unfortunately not seen Ginger live yet, but everyone I've talked to and from the videos I've seen, they always deliver an awesome show. I was actually going to see them in Chicago. And I bought the tickets like before the pandemic. And then like once they rescheduled, I think it was like 2021, maybe 2022. I don't remember. I couldn't make it. I had another commitment. But so I was able to sell them. And because their popularity went up in like the last 2 years, I actually made a profit off the tickets. So haha.
Oh, see, there you go.
So it worked out sort of. I still want to see them at some point.
I highly recommend it. They're awesome.
Good to know. Good to know. So
played, I guess I'll say our most recent show. We played at a venue called The L, and we were supposed to open up for the band Red, but there were issues, and Red got there, and then Red left. So we ended up saying, screw it, we're going to play. And the other band. So the promoter was like, okay, let's do it. Let's put it on. And Red had already posted that they were canceling. So we were like, oh my God, is anybody going to show up? And we actually packed it, and it was great, and it was amazing. And we got to be the headliners by default, so it worked out.
Well, that was a good way to turn a negative into a positive.
We met a lot of new people, a lot of new fans. And it ended up good for us. So I will just say that much.
Well, I'm glad things worked out. It was the best possibility for that situation.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Well, very, very good. No more hard questions until probably the end. So we're going to talk about the new EP Revive, which is you can chill for probably most of this interview now. And
really, I was like, oh.
Well, I try to sandwich like the hard questions in between, like the more easier stuff. So it's like some type of sandwich, I guess. I don't know. That's how I do my interviews now. I don't know. Anyway. So the new EP currently available on all the streaming platforms, entitled Revive. How was it writing and recording this EP? Was it the same session as Sham, or was this a different session?
Actually, so Sham was written differently. The songs were actually recorded. So the guys had done the music, but me vocally, it was the last song recorded before I had to stop singing for, I think it was like 2 months. I ended up getting, I don't know if we talked about this. I ended up getting vocal cord paralysis on the right side of my throat. So it would cause me to like lose my voice no matter what I did. And it actually wasn't because of singing or screaming. It was because I had COVID. And then after I had COVID, I got really sick again, like 3 months later, and just kept losing my voice. So I went to an ENT, and he's like, oh, you have blah, blah, blah. And you also have this. So it was like a host of issues that I had. And he's like, you have to stop singing to like relax this. And then I had to go to speech therapy. So I did Sham. Sham was like my last hurrah. And then March, April-ish, I went back into the studio and started recording all the other songs.
Right, I'm glad you were able to, obviously complete the EP when you're healthy enough to do so. But you mentioned, you had to take some time off, but you didn't give the whole specifics like you did just now. But I'm glad you're better at and your voice is back now. Yeah,
it's back, and I feel like now it's stronger. And I don't mean that like, oh yeah, I'm back and better than ever. But no, I really am. Like, I went to speech therapy helped me a lot to realize like, when you're talking or when you're trying to be quiet and talk to someone, you can't, I know whispering's bad, but even like when you're trying to be quiet, you can't do that, like, because you're straining. And there were certain things, like I was a lazy speaker because I thought I was saving myself, my breath, or saving my voice, but actually it was hurting me to be a lazy speaker, I guess, if that makes any sense. So it was really good. And they gave me this cool little thing to like do breathing exercises. So it was the best thing I probably could have done.
No, for sure. I'm glad you're taking very good care of your voice. Jeez, I can't even talk. Glad you're taking very good care of your voice. Obviously, maybe I'm a lazy speaker too. I don't know, but I'm glad you're doing very well, and you have the proper kind of exercises and treatments for yourself. That way, you can continue obviously being a lead vocalist.
Yes, me too. I'm glad about this. It was a good decision.
Definitely, for sure. I've even just doing my podcasting, which is just talking, I have to make sure that I'm taking care of my voice. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I get lazy, but I do try to at least take care of it, because obviously this is what I do, very similar to that singing is what you do.
It's true. It's the same thing. Especially there's just a lot of weird things that I didn't know I did, and now when I'm aware of it, I'm like, oh, okay, because it's just a lot of weird things that I would do, and I had to stop doing them. And it's hard to break habits that you don't even, you're so like subconsciously just doing, and you're like, oh shit.
No, I got you, especially like, you've been doing it for so long and just not realizing you're doing it. So it's just an instinct at this point.
Yes.
Well, again, I'm glad you're doing a lot better. Now I did want to talk about, so the EP Revive, how'd you come up with the title? How was that chosen?
So I was toying around with a lot of things, but I figured we would name it. So our first album, we actually named it from a track on the album, was Built to Follow, and we had a song called Built to Follow. So I was like, well, I should know this. I'm pretty sure it ends with Revive, and I'm like, let's call it Revive, because that's kind of the overlying theme of the album, well, EP. When I write an album, it's generally a story, and except for like one song on there, it's a little bit of an outlier, but it's still me, so I guess it counts. The whole concept for Revive was kind of taking back my life, and I don't mean it in like I've been going to, it's just like I allowed a lot of things in my life to control my future. And so I just thought Revive was very appropriate. I had a lot of issues with like bad relationships, just myself, my own, inner craziness, and I still, battle, but I was letting it hold me back, but not just me, it was holding the band back, because I was afraid to kind of put myself out there. And my goal is to not be that way. But we're working on it. We're doing good. We're doing good.
Well, I'm glad you guys are working on that. But yeah, there is that kind of that line of like, how much do you want to express compared to like what's actually going on kind of thing. And it is always like, because music, obviously you're expressing emotions, but it's like you have to choose which emotions to express throughout the music. Yeah.
It's also because I'm private. So I'll talk about relationships and stuff, but there's certain things that I like to keep private, and I've struggled with, I think we talked about social media. Like I know that we have to do it, right? I know that I need to be like, hey, check out my band. I have a hard time doing it. I have a hard time being like, hey, would you like to, like, I just feel like if we were good enough, it would automatically happen. So then in my mind, we're just not good enough. So it's a vicious cycle, and I go through it because of things that have happened. So now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, well, if I don't ask, and if someone doesn't know about us, then like they wouldn't think of doing it. And so a lot of good things have happened since I've gotten through that. I'm still, navigating it, but it's just very hard for me to be like, check out my band. Like, it's just not me.
No,
this is what I want to do for a living. It's very hard for me to just say, I just want to be like, here, like me, just like me. Or don't. I mean, whatever.
No, I totally understand that, because it's like the same stuff I deal with my podcast is like, I like doing the interviews. I like, releasing the interviews and, hey, what you think of this, all that stuff. I'm not so good at like doing like the short videos of, hey, this is my podcast, you should check it out. Very similar with the band. I struggle with that mostly because I forget to do them. You know what I mean? And I don't want to like, especially like all my friends know I do a podcast, so I don't need to talk to them about that because I already know what I do.
Right.
So I don't talk about that a lot with them because, obviously they already know what I do. So it's hard to kind of, express that to somebody you don't know or somebody you met online. It's like, it's hard to do that and not, come through the same issues with stuff.
It is. It's hard when you're talking to strangers because it's not even like the fear of rejection. It's almost the fear of just like no one caring. Because I'm okay with, like, even when we get criticism, I'm like, yeah, but then I'm like, okay, like I'll eventually fall out of my, spiral. But it's just when there's just nothing. Like you post something and it's like, not even like your mom likes it and you're like, is it that bad? Because people who don't like you or people who go out of their way to comment something that they don't like it. Like if I don't like something, I'm not going to comment on it because it wasn't for me. It was for people that liked it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not that person. And I just think it's funny when people are like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. You went out of your way to do this. So at least there's that.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that too. Like when I post stuff, especially like more recently, because they probably changed the algorithm again as they always do. It's like my engagement has just like dropped. I'm like, oh, but then I realized that like probably no one has seen the post because of social media is social media. So there's that aspect too. Yes,
there is, because I've posted stuff on Instagram and TikTok, taken them down, put them back up, Same thing with YouTube, post them at a different time. And then all of a sudden it's like I lit a fire. So I think that that's definitely part of it. And I mean, because there was an example on TikTok and it's not like it's blowing up, but for us, because we're not very engaged on it, I'm not that person who's going to be like, hey guys, but like, I'm not, it doesn't come across genuine when I do it. You can tell that I'm not faking it. I'm a real person, so I can't pretend. But we posted just a video of me doing the Linkin Park scream from Give It Up. And it was okay. You know, we got like a little bit of reaction. So I'm like, maybe we'll post it again and see what happens. When I tell you, for us, we got a lot of notoriety and tons of great comments. I mean, like and then one person was like, oh, well, I don't think Chester would like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, okay. And then everybody else was actually super positive. And everyone's like, oh my God, it looks effortless, blah, blah, blah. And then one guy's like, it's good, but she's trying too hard. I was like, I don't even know what that means. Because everyone's like, it's effortless, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know how it looks like. I don't know it's very difficult for me to be like, how are you trying too hard? Like, it's just, I don't know. I was just like, that's me. I'm very analytical. So it wasn't even like, you cannot like it, but like, that was the reason. I'm like, I mean, he said it was good, but it's just weird. So it was like a backhanded compliment, but.
Huh. Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Likes, regardless, we got a ton of stuff on it. And that was something we posted and we didn't. So.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's all just.
Repost it. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried that yet. I probably should. To me, it's just like anytime you post it, like obviously there's like, it's like the lottery. You're either going to get nothing or you're going to get, a lot of likes and engagement and stuff. And I haven't figured that out yet. But I mean, I don't know. I got another. I'm trying different stuff on social media, so hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I try to when I'm on our band page and whatever. If anytime like anybody who's interviewed us or like done stuff, like I will always try to like your stuff. So if I make sure, because I know your posts, whenever I see them, I'm like, yay.
No, I know. I see again, like
I will make sure. But I do try. I really do try. I do try.
I very much appreciate. I know, like I try to I'm cutting back on my social media because I just don't. It's not mentally good for people to be on it.
100% agree.
Constantly, and there's studies on that as well. But so I try, like, for the time I am on, I do try to engage with people. I do try to anytime
hour to just like everything and then go away.
Exactly. Or if I get like a notification, like I'll check it out just to see if it's, if someone shared something or commented something. Then I'll take care of it, or someone messaged me or something. That's fine. I'll take care of it. But I don't just try to scroll on it just to be on it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I like what it went from talking about the title of the EP to all of that about social media. But
it's crazy.
And I've had other bands that I've had on here talk about social media, and like, it is beneficial when used correctly, but then there's, the whole, there's a negative side to it, and you just have to balance.
Like anything.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
But it's where we're at, so gotta make the most of it.
Exactly. And so I did want to talk about, so obviously you recorded the new EP Revive. So for you, like, is it different? Do you have to prepare differently to like record in the studio compared to preparing for a live show?
Yeah, I don't stretch as much when I go to the studio. I do stretch, but not as much. And I feel like I rest more. Like I don't know. I'm pretty strict, actually. I'm pretty strict. If I'm playing a show or I'm going to the recording studio, I make sure we don't go out like that week. I'll not go out. I'll not have a single drink for 2 weeks, sometimes before, just to make sure that there's no possible way I could mess something up. Because in my mind, it's like if I mess up because I drank. It might be just that was someone opening a beer. How appropriate is that? If I mess up because that's great. I couldn't even plan that any better. If I mess up because I drink, then I'm doing a disservice to somebody. I mean, I could be because it might not have anything to do with it, me not having it. But people are always like used to make fun of me. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're prude. You don't, you're blah blah blah." And I'm like, "No, it's just not. I just want to be the best possible person I could be." So I'd say the only thing I do differently would be the stretching, and I don't wear any makeup or. I usually wear the most comfortable clothes ever because I'm like, oh, if I get bloated, I don't want to have anything tight on, so I can just, I don't know. That's weird. It's me. Yep, that's what I do. That's all I do.
Well, I can understand. Obviously, I can understand that. I'm sorry. That was very perfect time. Very nice sound effect. During.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't plan that any better.
But no, I definitely.
It was me.
Hey, it makes for a good moment from an interview. I can tell you that.
I'm home, so.
But I can definitely understand that because like kind of similar with like what I do. If I try to make sure I get plenty of rest before an interview, like, if I can. Sometimes, obviously, with my schedule, it's hard to do that. But because that way, like, I don't want to give someone a not 100% interview because then I feel like I'm ripping them off. And same with like obviously you're paying for the studio time and to do this, so you might as well make sure you're at 100%.
Yes, yeah, and sometimes what we'll do is we'll record the song as a rough draft, and then I go back in and hit everything again. But sometimes you might want that or whatever, and you can hurt yourself when you're singing and screaming and you're dehydrated. So I don't mess with it.
No, I got you for sure. I mean, I don't drink at all, so like I can definitely understand that. Like not my thing.
No, it sounds like I'm this like raging alcoholic right now. I don't ever drink, no, but I don't drink. But like if I go out on the weekend, even I'll have like maybe one or whatever. But sometimes I do, and that's one thing that I really make sure I don't do. I don't drink soda or anything. I don't drink coffee, any of that. So I just am like, we can't go out and do X, Y, and Z. Because when we do go out, if I do go out, it's like twice a month, maybe, like to drink. I go hard. Sometimes I go real hard. So there's that component.
I gotcha. I understand. So and also I did want to talk about before we start getting to the harder questions, I did want to talk about the music video that you guys also released, which is for What I've Become.
Yes.
So we talked about Sham last time, so I did want to talk about for What I've Become. How was it filming the music video?
Cold. It was outside, and I just remember it being just cold. Like it was so cold, and it wasn't even as cold as it is right now. But it'd be like being outside right now. It was just cold. It was good, but we had the fire, and it was the best part because you were like, turn it on, just make me warm. So like there were things that I was doing in it, and people were like, oh, I loved how you did. And I was like, I was just really cold, so I was trying to move all around. And I get comments that I'm sure dramatic, band name. So I mean, there was your disclaimer, but people are always like, oh, you do this, like that's just me. Like I'm always gonna be demonstrative with how I am. Like it's just who I am. So I didn't even care. I just was like, screw it. Whatever makes me happy, I'm gonna do it. So I didn't care. I got more sound effects. Did you like those sound effects?
Yeah, that was good. That's good. I don't have to pump in any sound effects. They're already built in.
I know.
No, I'm sorry. I forgot where we were going with this, but I did.
It was fine. It was good.
Okay.
It was cold. It was a great video. It was actually one of the shorter of the video shoots we've ever done, though, because we were kind of like, oh, maybe we'll do a little story, and then we were like, screw it, performance video. It's pretty much all we've done. But our next video is not. We're not even going to perform in it. We're just gonna have a storyline, so it's exciting.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's good. Nice. I'm good. Nice to obviously change things up a little bit for it's not just the same stuff. So I hope everything goes well. Hopefully it's warmer.
We'll be in a house, so I'm excited about that. And then I don't even have to like worry about trying to look like camera ready, really, because of what we're doing. So I'm so happy that that's happening, because I love. Like, but sometimes it's just anxiety. You're like, oh my God, like, ugh, hate it. It's weird because I sing in a band, right? But my favorite thing is performing live, not seeing myself.
I got you, for sure. I was going to go with somewhere, and hold on, I'll think of it. So I interviewed the Almas. They're out of Wisconsin, and they did a music video recently, and they were in an unheated warehouse. in like I think Iowa or something, and so like part of the interview was like normal stuff, normal performance stuff, and like the other half was like they had like a water like a like a waterfall, like water scenes. They said it was absolutely because it was already cold, and then they had to get wet for the music video. So I was like, oh, that sounds awful.
It's really good for you though.
That's why
I've ever since I don't even know when I started doing my whole I'm gonna be really super healthy blah blah blah. I started doing cryo chamber, and it got expensive. So they were like, well, if you just take a cold shower, it's very. I'm like, so it sucks, but it does work. So I know that it sucks, but there's the benefit of they're burning calories and helping their muscles. That's what I tell myself when I get cold. I'm like, this is good for me.
I didn't know that, even though that is good to know. I don't like being cold, even though I live in Indiana where it's like, snowing most of the year. So yeah, I mean, when I was a mechanic, I know we talked about this a little bit last time, but like, when I was working on a car, it'd be like covered in snow and like you have to be under the car while it's on like that. That's pretty much very similar.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. I'm like to choose when I'm cold, so that's why I enjoy the cold showers. But I do the cryo once in a while when I'm feeling like bougie. So
I gotcha for sure.
It goes to like -300 to -200. I don't know. It's at least -200. It's between 2 and 3. It could be I don't even know, but it's cold.
Does sound cold. That sounds extremely cold.
It's just gas, but you're just in there and your little paws are out and you're just, and like the girl tries to talk to you and she's like, so, and you're like, yeah, it's good. And you're just trying to keep your mind off it. But I feel like it's making me strong. Like I'm going to be a warrior. If some shit goes down, like I got it.
For sure. I know. And I for sure know you do. You got it.
Probably not. I just tell myself that's what I do. I pump myself.
Well, I mean, as long as you can convince yourself you got it, then you got it.
Oh my God. Every day I'm like, get it, just get in. Yes.
I mean, I was outside in like -40-degree weather here. So I mean, does that count? Like
that totally counts. I'm gonna say that it counts. Awesome, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just going with
Sounds good.
I don't know.
All right. So last thing about music videos, then I did want to cover the live show aspect just a little bit. What has been your favorite music video so far to shoot?
Okay, when you say favorite, like my favorite music video that we've done, it's between Who Waits and Sham.
Okay.
But I probably had to touch mouse poop in Who Waits because we were in a dirty, nasty basement and there was just like stuff on the ground and it was like a dirt floor and I'm sure there was poop of some variety in there and that wasn't fun. So I'm gonna go with Sham, maybe Sham.
Okay, it sounded more like a question.
Yeah,
it sounded like there was a question mark after that.
Sham was my favorite one to do, because I was inside and I didn't touch any poop that I know of.
That's a plus.
And I got to like get the blood all over and be all like crazy and gunky. The after wasn't so much fun because I was all gross, but it was fun. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sham. But I think tomorrow's is gonna be like, I'm blowing this up. I hope it's good. Tomorrow's is, I'm hoping it's gonna be my favorite. I'm hoping.
Right.
Got me.
Well, I hope it is, especially with being a storyline based. I do hope you guys get to explore different elements of the song and the music with being a storyline. Yeah,
it's good. It's good. It's not like it's emotional, but not like sad emotional. It's gonna be good. I hope. I keep saying I hope. Dear God, that will really suck if I'm like, this is gonna be great. It's like.
We'll have to look back in a few months. We'll see how this worked. How it worked out.
We'll be like, biggest letdown ever, or she was correct.
We'll find out. I mean,
the guy that we use is amazing. Love him. So it wouldn't be his fault. It would be totally our fault. We would just suck at acting, which is totally possible.
I hope not. I hope it all works out. But I mean,
band. We can't even be serious. We're never serious. We're never serious with each other. So like it's gonna be one of those like he's gonna have to like cut the scene. So we'll see.
Well, as long as it's edited properly, it should work out.
Right.
Exactly. I've saved a lot of videos in post-production, so
yes, that's what it's all about. Post.
I've heard someone did tell me it's like the most important thing, and I can tell you it's the most important thing.
Oh god, yeah. If you see our footage before, I mean, when we see our footage before, we're like, oh, that's good, and then it'll do it. And I'm like, yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, for sure. I've started like for this season, I've started to do a solo podcast, and I include a little bit of acting in there and reading scripts and stuff. And started off a little rough because I'm not an actor, but I feel like I'm getting at least sort of better at it.
Yeah, I believe in you.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Some people tell me that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I just filmed one today, so I have to go for the post-production, and it'll make it look 10 times better.
See? I'm super like that's like my one thing. Like I love. Like when people are like, "Oh, that's great," I'm like, "Yay! I feel so good. Yay!"
Oh,
I get excited.
No, I do. I do the same thing because it's nice. Like you can have your thoughts on something, but it's nice when someone says and hopefully
validation.
Yeah, it definitely.
It's not like you always need it, but I think especially in this industry, kind of need it because it's not going to work if you don't have it.
No, definitely for sure, and it's nice. You know, obviously you have to put the work into doing it, so it's nice that someone else enjoyed it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but I do hope, and we'll find out if the music video does live up to the hype that you're giving it. But we'll find out.
Oh, I just feel like I just put so much pressure on myself.
Hey, just don't think about it. Just don't think about it tomorrow. Be like, nope, I'm not going to think about the interview with Matthew. It will just all work out.
It's gonna do it. We got this. Put it out there. It's gonna work. All the good energy coming my way.
Exactly. All right, so gonna be wrapping up this interview a little bit. I did want to ask about the live show aspect. Well, it's gonna be similar to the music video question, but do you have a favorite song to perform live?
Who Waits?
Oh, that was a quick answer. That was good.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right.
The next single I think is gonna be my favorite. It got a good like chunky vibe, but Who Waits is that's my favorite.
Right. I'm glad there was not a lot of hesitation with that question. That was good. All right. Well, I have just a few more things. Now, I haven't asked this question, and I don't know if I actually have asked it live or in any interview. So we'll see how this goes.
Oh, man. Okay.
So have you thought about like the legacy of DramaScream? Like, what's the legacy you want to leave behind with DramaScream?
Well, I just want people to be like, they were weird, but they made really good music. Like, I don't know. I just hope that I hope that we have a legacy. You know, I hope that people are like, oh, it's hard to know that you started something or some sort of trend or some sort of anything until later. So I guess that's kind of the test of time. So I hope that we leave a footprint. I hope our footprint is that we impacted hard rock metal in a way that opened the door for other people to do something. And it just kept going because we kept going, that sort of thing. So I hope that we can do that for other people. And I think they're going to think we're a little weird, but like we were awesome.
All right. That was a really great answer. I knew that's why I said there'd be more challenging questions at the end. But I definitely agree with that. And I definitely hope you guys do achieve that with, obviously through your music and inspiring people. I do hope that happens for you guys.
Me too. You and me both.
That's right. So I think actually that's the only second time I've asked that question. So I asked one last season. So
okay.
So yeah. So first time for this season.
I like those questions.
I do try to throw in some different questions like that because it's not all obviously not just all band or music based. So I do try to ask a little bit, obviously in the same realm of music. I don't like asking, about like what's going on in the world of politics like that because you can hear that anywhere else in the world. I try to keep this mostly music based.
Yeah, agreed.
For sure. But as I'm wrapping up this interview, so what are the plans for DramaScream for the rest of this year? It's late February, going to come into March soon. What is the plans for DramaScream?
Booking shows constantly. We have some booked. We're playing March 11th locally, and then we're traveling a little bit of ways in April. But we're mixing it in with we're back in the studio because we released an EP, but we want more music. So there's going to be a lot of content coming. We're trying to get a little bit of a show going on YouTube so that people kind of get to know us better. So it'd be nice if people have questions or, you know, like if there's something you want to see us do, like within like for like 8 to 10 minutes, you know, I don't care if it's like mountain biking, whatever. Maybe we can do it. So it's more just reaching a broader audience between booking and writing and recording. We're doing all of the things. So.
Right on. I'm very, very happy to hear you guys are gonna be getting more active as this year goes on. Got a lot of sounds like you got a lot of great stuff. We
do. We're just trying to pick our shows wisely. Because traveling is expensive, and it's not that we're not grateful for the opportunities, but you know, we still have full-time jobs, and if we have to take off work, it just has to make sense. Because if you're using that time up, then something bigger could come and you'd have to. So, I mean, not that we ever would. We'd probably just say screw it and not work. But we just want to work it out so that way we're getting the most done, I guess.
No, I got you for sure. It's definitely there's definitely a balance with that. You know, obviously, if you could, you'd be playing, you know, shows as much as you can.
And people can't afford to pay you, and I get that. Like, people are like, oh, these bands think like I don't think we deserve $1 million, but like if you can't, if our like certain things can't be covered, it's like I understand and I appreciate the ask, but you have to understand that if we're not even breaking, like if it's costing us money to play, then that would be then you know that would be money I could put into a video to reach more people than, you know. So, and I get it because everyone's in a weird time right now, but we are going to be doing more shows as long as they're the correct show.
I got you, especially traveling out of town. You know, it's, you know, pretty expensive to do that. So to do, you know, you have to kind of justify. Plus, if you got to take off time work, you know, then you might not have enough time to take off for another thing. So no, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate. I actually left my old job and I have a remote job now. So I have the advantage, I guess. Our bass player has that opportunity too. So it's just our two other, but they kind of can do it. It's just, like I said, you get it.
I feel you. I feel you with a lot of it because I got to pick and choose like what shows I want to cover when I travel too. So no, I completely understand. That's kind of all I got. That was my last question I wanted to get through. So I appreciate hanging out with you again. Always great time chatting with you.
Thank you.
I'll drop some links for DramaScream in the description of this podcast. Please check out, support DramaScream. Lauren, always a fun time.
Thank you.
Of course, for Lauren Eliza of DramaScream, I'm your host always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.